Retired Border Patrol agent and Sheriff of Terrell County, Texas, Thaddeus Cleveland. And also joining us is Border Commerce and Security Council Chairman and Principal at Bolito and Associates, Nelson Bolito. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us and welcome to Wake Up America Weekend. Sheriff, I'm going to start with you. You were part of former President Trump's motorcade to visit Eagle Pass, which with the epicenter of the border crisis, while President Biden visited Brownsville. So talk to us about the energy behind the scenes. What was it like there being with the former president? Do you think he had, was his visit more impactful compared to the president's? What are your thoughts?
Hey, well first of all, you know, he arrived in Del Rio, Texas, and the whole trip down there, the streets were lined in Del Rio. Motorists were parked along the highway between there to Eagle Pass. And then when we entered Eagle Pass, a tremendous amount of support. So that was great to see. You know, those communities have been impacted these last 3 years. And while we were there, you know, getting to hear his remarks, the governor's remarks, and some other remarks made by some others, just a lot of excitement and a lot of support. But I'll tell you, I think an opportunity was missed because you had myself and Sheriff Brad Coe of Kinney County, and we're two of the counties that are impacted not by the asylum seekers, but by those that are still trying to cross our borders illegally, trying to, you know, sneak in and abscond. And with that said, over the last 5 days, we've had 4 pursuits in my county that have been high speed. We still have people out here that are crossing much different than on the Eagle Pass.
Interesting. Chairman, let me ask you, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre deflected the border crisis entirely. I mean, she placed all the blame right at the feet of Republicans. Watch this.
This is a serious matter. That's why the president's going to the border. The president was at the border a year ago in El Paso, visiting the border back in January 2023. He put a comprehensive immigration policy on day one. This really, the folks who are getting in the way here are Republicans. They are getting in the way, and they are doing it because of what Donald Trump is telling them to do for his own political gain.
So, Chairman, it's simple here. Why would she say this when President Biden's border security policy has been just very simple? Reverse everything on day one that former President Trump's executive orders did, including remain in Mexico, allowing ICE to function in sanctuary cities, so on and so forth. I mean, we're going to scroll it on the screen here. I don't have enough time in this segment to list it all, but wasn't that his border policy on day one to just reverse the Trump policies?
Absolutely, it was. You know, these are talking points, desperate talking points at best, that the White House is trying to scrounge at the last minute and trying to blame it on everybody else other than them. You know, I'll tell you what, if you want to make a change, why didn't he make a change a couple of days ago when he was on the border? He could have done executive action right there. There was an absolute opportunity missed where he could have got executive action and done something right now. There's no need for new legislation. He has the ability of doing this right now, just the same way he lifted everything that Trump did before. He could put them right back in there tomorrow. But he doesn't want to do it. So he wants to fight it out. He wants to make this a political issue. He goes to Brownsville, where basically no one's crossing currently right now, as opposed to Eagle Pass. And you saw very stark differences between Trump and Biden and what's happening. But what I think one of the things that was missed is, how do we start pressuring Mexico to do their part? How do we start pushing that border back? How do we stop playing on the 1 yard line and start playing on the 50 yard line and closing that southern border of Mexico? Right. Those are the kind of things that we need to start doing.
Well, I can answer that. You can get Mexico get more involved by having President Trump force them to do so. But go ahead.
Is it that simple, is it?
Well, that's what he did. It is actually that simple. President Trump would tell you that.
Sheriff, but during his visit, Trump's visit, he also acknowledged the growing rise in crime that we're seeing now. Since we've had these migrants coming over in huge numbers. He specifically referenced the murder of 22-year-old Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. Now, shockingly, New York City Mayor Eric Adams has also spoken out against the rise in migrant crime as well, calling for the rollback of some of New York's sanctuary city policies and for increased cooperation between NYPD and ICE. What do you make of these comments from the mayor?
Hey, well, and going back to what's happened here with the recent crime, we're a country that's, you know, a rule of law. We have consequences if you break our law. And then we still have respect, for the most part, for law enforcement, unless you're in those sanctuary cities. But these sanctuary cities have it wrong. They're looking to defund their police. They're looking to house these immigrants. I'll tell you what, 9 more months of this situation along the border. It's out of hand. It's solvable, as Mr. Bolito said. And it's time that either we take back our border or we get Americans out to vote and we get a new president in the White House.
Fair enough. Chairman, we will have you back because we ran out of time, but I promise we'll get you back on. Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland and Nelson Bolito, appreciate your input. Very important issue. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us.